Excellent. You've already run lunch?
And once
I'm very impressed.
share the PowerPoint, Christa?
Yes.
Once we want to share the PowerPoint, we hit share screen.
The
Option. Yeah.
We're live, by the way. That's okay.
Click share screen, go down to Microsoft PowerPoint.
Perfect.
No problem.
Awesome. We're going to get to that in just a second, but we'll go ahead and pull it up now. Thank you. Thank you. All right, folks. We do have a few more signed up, but we'll go ahead and get started because I like to start on time. I know we're a few minutes late. Apologies for that. Things are busy and moving as always here at KGI, especially lately. For those of you that don't know, I'm Christa Oudshoorn-Hobo. Well, I can technically still say I'm new. I think it's been about 7 months, Diana. Diana Bartlett has joined us as well. Most of you should know who she is. Anywho, so delighted to be here. Just wanted to give a brief highlight, as I do at all the quarterly town hall meetings, just to say that we've been out in a lot of necks of the woods here in the U.S. We were in Thousand Oaks area for the January networking event. We hit Orange County in March. In May, we had a wonderful commencement breakfast with some alums coming back for that as well. And you're always welcome at this stage until we get too big, in which we'll have to have our own event separate from the graduation. And then we also hit Thermo Fisher in Carlsbad, which was a great event as well. And in June, we did the whirlwind, West Coast, East Coast tour. So we were first visiting alums at Google. We do have a few. We went to the Bio conference and we had drinks at Fibrogen on their lovely, balcony overlooking the bay, which was lovely. And then had a wonderful turnout for that as well. Headed out, I did with President Schuster down to New York. We visited Regeneron and a few others in the New York area, as well as New Jersey at BMS, Bristol Myers Squibb. And not to forget, Alex, we were at Boston as well. We had a nice time there at the Mead Hall. So thank you all that joined us. And if you didn't join us or you'd like to organize your own event, please, please, please let me know. We'd love to help you organize that or support you in your organization. Let me reword that. So upcoming opportunities for you. We're going to have another 3 stay tuned speaker series exclusively for alumni. I believe for one of them, we're going to let faculty pop in if they want to. That's for Tricia Bost, or Bost, sorry. She's a senior corporate counsel at Celgene. Then we've got Benjamin Pavlik. He's trying to launch his own drug reuse, repurposement of a drug, I guess is a better way of saying that. He's going to take you through all the ins and outs of what he's going through on August 9th. And then we've got the 19th of August, we've got Senior Brand Manager, Dr. Ramya Kartikian, who also was a PPM. So, and we will also be having drinks at Kingfish in San Mateo, which is apparently something that is very well received because we've got a lot of signups already. So if you can make it to that, you're most welcome. And if you hear of an event happening in another area where you don't live, you are most welcome. So just reach out to me if you didn't get that. My colleague in Career Services, Angela Cossi, has asked me to ask you, we're looking for summer resume reviewers. So the students, love to get feedback from alumni, and you're out in the field, so any feedback you could give to them would be great. I won't give you 50 resumes, but if you could do 1 to 5, that'd be wonderful. And it's a time commitment of a few weeks in the summer, so I'll be sending something out about that. And also, please like us on Facebook. We have, I think, 75 people that like us so far, and we haven't even been live for a month, so I'm kind of excited about that. And it's a good way for me to be able to, send info. And feel free to post things yourself there as well. I also like to follow up on the last town hall we had where Dr. Webster spoke about the School of Pharmacy, and someone, I believe it might have even been Carrie Ann, she suggested that we let folks know, alums know when there's interns at their place of work. And we do try to do that, but again, we need to be reminded as much to do that as we can. So if you know an an intern there, please introduce yourself if we haven't let you know. And we will also be launching a new directory soon, which will allow students and alumni and even faculty and staff to connect with one another in a really organic way and to mentor one another. So stay tuned for that. And also, you should have received a notice, and it's also on the Facebook page. Alumni will receive a 50% discount for the Vision Conference, which is a collaboration with University College London, and it sounds like it's a really great opportunity. And 50% off one of those is a pretty good deal, if you ask me. And maybe your boss will even pay for it. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome back Dean Casper. Oh, I'm not welcoming you back. I mean, you're here every day, but anyway.
I'm gone for 2 hours. Happy to be here. It's the annual Dean's Conference retreat. It's in the Crafts Building. You have a beautiful view of Scripps College for some reason from CMC, but
nice.
They're an hour behind. I'm so happy to be here. All righty, so let me go through some of this stuff. And I mainly just want you guys, and I know some of you just graduated about a month ago, so this might not be too much of an update for you, but I'll go over what's going on at KGI. I've got some of the, I managed to get some of the top secret plans about the.
Yeah, I saw confidential listed on
Yeah, so don't tell Mike Jones or Shelby this. Anyway, they're not that top secret, but we've got construction going on this stuff all the time. So let me just go over some of these slides, but I'd love questions, so just break in any time if you have any questions. We're all here. So the cool thing going on, if you haven't heard this, we're going to have over 500 students on campus. That is like a bona fide campus, 500 students.
Wow.
The first year I was here, we might have had 70, maybe, and I think we got down to about 60. So we've got 500 students, and the other cool thing about it, I know most of you guys are from the, and gals are from the School of Applied Life Sciences, is that, you know, there was a lot of kind of worries and fears that we were going to be kind of like, you know, the stepchild sort of, you know, smaller campus. But a lot of the growth we're seeing is actually in our school in addition to pharmacy. So it's really even across the schools. So I put some kind of broad enrollment figures for next year. We're going to have about 125 students in MBS, which is still far and away our flagship program that we're super committed to. PPC is also growing. That's a great program. On PPC, I don't have a lot about that program on in these slides, but we did some research on that recently. About 80% of the people coming through that program that apply to medical school go to medical school. The other cool thing, though, is about 60% of the students are coming back for a second year. Increasingly, they're finishing the MBS or the MS. One of the reasons why the figures going to medical school are so high is that a whole lot of the students, I would say, I don't know what you think, I think about a third. What do you think? About 25-30% of the students don't even apply to medical school because they fall in love with a honestly really good career option, i.e. getting a job in industry.
Yep.
And that's what they do. And instead of spending 8 years in bed, they actually get a job, a good job, in all kinds of areas. So the PPC is sort of inadvertently leading to some growth in the second year of the MBS program and our alumni base, which is really good. We also have the MS program. That's the second year kind of program for the PPC students that really don't have enough credits the first year to finish the MBS, or they're more science oriented. About 25 students in there, so it's a really growing program. I'm going to talk about this in its own little slide, but we're starting this new Masters of Engineering program. We're going to have 24 students in that next year, and I'll go over that in a bit more detail in a minute. The PPM program, we have about 15 students in that. I saw a couple of PPMs on the list. We love this program. Thinking a lot about how to expand that program. I don't have slides on the PPM, but you might have heard that we're starting a online version of the first third of the program, the certificate part, that we have offered for City of Hope for years. We got a grant from the Burroughs Wellcome Foundation to offer this on the Minerva platform. So we're going to have about 19 students doing the first third of the PPM online, and we're thinking about trying to create a blended option for the PPM. So students at PPM may come here for a semester rather than a year and still get a degree. So PPM we're still excited about, very excited about and we're also doing a lot of work with Christa here on just what alumni are doing in that program. So I see we have Ramia giving a talk here in a few weeks. Great outcomes in that program. And then PhD program, we have 10 students in that program. That doesn't sound like a lot, but for us, that's a lot of students in the program. We have 5 new ones starting. We actually have more than, that's 10, we have more than 10.
Probably more.
We have more. That's internal. PhD. We also have about 5 students in the industry embedded version of the program. So about 15 students on PhD. I was in a brain freeze when I wrote that up. So about 15 on PhD. And then in pharmacy, we're going to have about 220 next year. So remember, that's a 4-year program. So every year between 70 and 80, 70 and 85 come. We've had a little bit of attrition, but not a lot in the first year. So we're down a little bit. But the first 3 of the 4 years, we're all going to be on campus. So we're going to be at max capacity at campus next year. And I'll talk about that in a minute. So about 220 students there. So a total over 500 students. So to put that in comparison, the largest of the Claremont colleges is CGU with about 2,500, although there are a lot of part-timers not here all the time. The largest full-time programs are at Pomona. They have about 1,800 students. But the smaller colleges, Harvey Mudd, Pitzer, they're in the 800 range. So we're getting up there with not being the smallest skin on the block anymore. And we're going in the right direction. Our growth is phenomenal, and our outcomes are phenomenal. So we're really, really happy with that. So one thing that's awesome about all the growth is that it allows us to hire lots of new faculty members. So this last year, we've been spending a ton of time on faculty growth, and it's been a great year for us. The year before last, we didn't do that great. I was really not very happy with it because we had some good candidates coming out, and we weren't really closing a deal with them and getting them to come out to KGI. So we made a real strategic commitment last year to really reevaluate how we evaluate faculty applicants, how we interview them, how we show them off. A big part of that, honestly, was getting in touch with students and alumni. You guys are our best sales card almost always. And we just had a tremendously successful year last year. So we have 2 replacement hires. You might have heard Luann Banks and retired recently. Some good news is she's still going to teach with us as an adjunct, so we're trying to keep her around. She is Miss Board Member of the city of Redlands. She is the mover and shaker of Redlands, California. She's on the board of their symphony orchestra, and she's on the board of the University of Redlands. So very, very impressive from that point of view. She's the alumni representative on the board, so we're going to talk a bit about alumni stuff. So she's keeping real busy, but we really want her fine touch to be involved with KGI going forward. So she's going to be helping us with our accounting class going forward as an adjunct. So that's really good. And we're trying to get her involved with other stuff too. And then you might have heard that Jenny Tan from Bioprocessing went back to industry. So she's also still involved as an adjunct professor with various programs. So she went back to industry. So we had a couple of replacement hires, and we had actually 7 new hires. Plus we have an open position right now too. So here's the list if you're looking on the screen of the hires. So we have Scott. He started about 10 months ago, so he's been around a lot. But he was teaching marketing. I know you guys, I feel sorry for everybody because we should have hired Scott 5 years ago because he is brilliant at marketing. He's very analytics oriented. He's into social media, stuff like that. He is great. His teaching evaluations, he honestly could have won the teaching award this year. I kind of think, what's the incentive to improve if you give him a best award the first year or so? But he could have gotten it, but just don't tell him I told you that.
Secrets from the dean.
Yeah. Scott is awesome. And then we just hired this guy named Krishna Kumar. He's going to be teaching organizational behavior, so management type stuff. He's great. Arash A, I call him, from Bioprocessing. He came from industry, so he's really, really good. Cameron Bartletting, he's another bioprocessing engineer. He came from Cornell. He was a postdoc there. He's terrific. He's helping out with the PhD programs. Denise Dunlap, she just started next week. She's the person I'm very excited about because she's going to help me co-teach my class, so I might not fall over dead next year like I did this year. So Denise Dunlap, she comes from Northeastern. She's an associate professor. She's been out for a while. She's an international business expert, and she does research on the global biopharma industry. So she's going to be a great fit with us. She just started this last week ago. She's been here all of a week, so I've been trying not to bug her too much about just working on my class. But she's going to be co-teaching the 359 class with me this year, and she's going to be terrific. Outstanding teacher. We hired a new bioengineer, Kiana Anand. She comes from UC Berkeley. She actually doesn't start till January, but she's on board. So she's going to be helping with drug devices delivery, things like that. She's also going to be working on teaching the ALS 321 class with Anna Hickerson. Super excited about her. Again, she's been a postdoc, kind of a senior postdoc there. She runs a small lab there. She's really, really into student projects. She does a lot of bioentrepreneurship stuff at Berkeley, so we think she's going to fit in incredibly well. She has a very strong medical background. Her husband's actually a physician, so she's going to be really strong in that area as well. Then finally, this took 2 years to recruit this guy, Ed Arnheiter, literally 2 years to close the deal with him. He's going to come here at 50%. We're trying to get him to move down here permanently and be 100% person, but we got him for 50%. We need to convince his wife on the beguiling traits of Claremont over Sacramento. Give me a break. But we went so far. I literally took them out to lunch last summer trying to convince them to class. So we got him. That was not that successful. We tried, right? So that's a 50% hire. He's teaching supply chain and operations. 2 sections of operations, 1 of supply chain. He's also a Six Sigma Ninja Sensei.
Really? Good to know.
Yeah. triple black belt superstar in that area. So he's going to be working on continuous improvement at KGI, and I think he's going to be great. So I hope to get the alumni connected with him. He's going to be awesome. He's 50% next year, but I'm really working hard on making that 100% so we get more out of him. We've also hired a guy named Ken Grice, who's, you might have met him. He was involved in teaching the project management class this year. He's going to be 50% here, 50% UC Riverside. He's also going to be our new TMP director, so you'll get to meet him for sure. He comes from working at Monsanto for over 25 years. He is terrific in project management, industrial biotechnology. Going to be awesome. We're kind of throwing him in the deep end. He's going to be our new TMP director, so we're working with Donnie here a lot on that. We're making it kind of a team effort, so it's not sort of a sink or swim thing with them, but he is awesome. So he is, his first day is actually today is Thursday, the 14th. That'll be great. And then we hired a new finance professor to replace Luann Yun Lu. She started a couple weeks ago. She comes from UC Riverside. She's an associate professor there. She's really, really strong, both on research and teaching. Really, really important to us to be able to teach finance because we know that's not the most straightforward of classes for many of our less numerically gifted scientists. So we have her teaching. She is great teaching reviews from UC Riverside Business School there, and we have really, really high hopes that she's going to be great. So that's our list of new faculty. I mean, it's about a 40, I don't know, not quite doubling. We're going to have about 25 faculty, so it's about maybe a 30, 40% improvement in size. So really, really showing the commitment from the board and from Shelley to growing SOLs and KGI with all these faculty hires. Every one of these people is going to be contributing to both core classes and elective classes. So our ability to really broaden out throughout the program, who's advising TMP projects, specialty classes, is going to improve dramatically. So really, really happy about these faculty hires. So it's your guys' work as alumni in supporting us over the years and really kind of demonstrating that our program works, that gets new students into here, and that leads to these new faculty hires. So we're super happy about that. So then we have a new program in bioprocessing. I'm sure most of you will have to have Harvest come in and be a guest at one of these quarterly
He's
reports.
going to be one next time.
There you go, Harvest. Harvest, you'll meet him, so I won't say too much. He is. I did his faculty review. I don't know, you guys are all my peers, the alumni, and I figured I needed to work with about 3 people. That's what my estimate was.
That's right. I would agree.
About 3 people. Amazing amount of work this guy does. He worked at UCL for about 20 years. That's why we're having that program at UCL, which we're really excited about, the Vision program. Then he worked at Lilly for over 12 years, running their kind of skunkworks, kind of new ideas sort of think tank for bioprocessing, engineering type stuff there. And he's been just completely revamping the Amgen Bioprocessing Center and expanding it, kind of building on the legacy of Matt Krogan to expand that center. So, we had Matt and Lynn when Matt and Lynn were here. Now we have Matt, Lynn, Cameron, Arash, forgetting at least 2 people. Stephanie. Carrie Lynn. And we have an open position. We've had people coming in left and right. We're going to have 2 open positions once the thing really takes off. So, triple the size of the Bioprocessing Center. He started this new program in bioprocessing. I'm going to talk about it in a second. He's expanded the number of courses in the MBS program. He started an industry-embedded PhD program called the CAS PhD program, where we're going to have about 6-7 students on this next year, where they spend about 2/3 of their time or more at a company. So Boehringer Ingelheim, for example, is one of the main sponsors. Then about 1/3 of the time here at KGI doing a industry-sponsored PhD project. So an awesome opportunity there. He's also, this is something you guys in bioprocessing, you or your colleagues can think about, he's really upped our game in corporate education. So we've had something called the BPAD, which is a bioprocessing related training program. We've had, 1 a quarter or so of 3-4-day courses where we have experts come in and teach specialty topics surrounding bioprocessing and industrial engineering. So we're really getting that going. And then his crown thing is this new program this new Master of Engineering program. It just rolls off the tongue, the Master of Engineering in Biopharmaceutical Processing, otherwise known as bioprocessing. Some reason we needed that name, but it's been an awesome program. It's a much more technical program. One thing we really don't want to do is cannibalize from the MBS. It's really one of our core things, is to make sure that the MBS as a feeder program in science and business across a number of areas remains kind of our flagship. We really like this program as it's doing something that bioprocessing and MBS wasn't able to do, which is really develop technical engineers with deep engineering skills so they can go into manufacturing, engineering, laboratory environments, and companies, and succeed both as an engineer and as a leader. So we see it as a complement to MBS. About 1/3, maybe 25% of the curriculum is common with MBS courses, and about 75% of it is new, and that's almost all engineering. So they do some of the breadth. They're going to take the 359 Intro to bioscience industry course that I help teach. They're going to be doing some finance, some ethics, things like that. But then there's a whole lot of engineering and kind of biologics-oriented quality regulatory stuff can be in this program that'll be new. It has a capstone team design project, sort of the equivalent of the TMP, but it's more engineering design. It is a summer experience. You can do an internship, a summer TMP, or you can do research at KGI or at UCL because he's buddies with everybody there. So right off the bat, now remember the MBS program had about 30 students in the first year, but it kind of helped because we gave everybody a free ride. We're not giving anybody a free ride in this program, which I wish we could, but we're not. So we have 14 students, which really is good because they're all paying students. The PPC program, which is our most recent program that's been started by us, it had 8 students the first year, and it's grown to 70. So we're seeing hopefully a similar track to this. We think this program is going to be great. We also have about 10 students coming back. Most of them are from PPC that were involved in bioprocessing last year. I guess they're kind of thinking, well, I'd rather be a bioprocess engineer than a doctor. So they're coming back to try to finish this program, which will be great. One of our ambitions for this program is to get ABET accredited. That's the accrediting body for engineers, which is a much higher accreditation standard than WASC, our regional accreditor. And having a graduate from this program next year will facilitate that. So we're really happy. So it's gotten up for a great start. If you're interested in bioprocessing, come in here and Harvest Talk here. But come and visit the center. It's never been better. It's growing left and right. It's really, really tremendous. Okay, I just wanted to say, and I think Christa has gone through some of this. I decided not to put the slides up, but I just wanted to do a brief summary of just how well our alumni are doing, just to kind of highlight that again. We did a follow-up. It's the 3rd year of the MBS alumni survey. And the results are very, very similar to what we found before, just a little stronger, actually, but they're very similar. About 95% of people that get our degree in MBS get a job in industry, which is its goal. So that's good. Almost all within 6 months, actually over half within 3 months, 3 or 4 months. Last year, we had about 45% had jobs at graduation, which is really what we want. You know how it was for you guys. I think, I'm not sure if Jason's on there. I remember Jason before getting the job at PLA stressed, after, life is good. So we really want students to get jobs while they're here is what our goal, and we're really pushing towards that a lot. But at the end, we're going to lead by our own. That 95%, it sounds like it's what we've always been, so we're happy. But when we start doing peer group comparisons with anybody, we're an order of magnitude higher. A lot of places are happy with 70%, for example, which means 30% of the people paid a lot of tuition didn't get a job, which means that's pretty lousy. So I'm not actually happy with 95%. I want it to be 100%. A lot of the 5%, though, is going to get a PhD or things like that.
Right.
So very few people come to us a year later saying, I got this fancy degree and I don't have a job, and I never want that to happen. So our core goal is to get you guys jobs. Starting salary, around 70,000. It's a little higher than that, actually. We're just conservative with these numbers, about 70,000. Average salary across all grads, remember that's 15 years of data. So we have a lot of people that have been out 8 or 9 years now, was I think 122,000. That's
It
right.
might be a little higher. But
A little higher, again, being conservative.
Yeah.
We also are doing work, and this is one of the projects we're working on this year, is to chart career progression moving up the organizational ladder. And we're seeing a lot of that, which is really, really good. I don't have quantitative data on that, but we really want you guys to move into more senior positions sooner than later. And be running the show. That's what we want as leaders here. That's the ultimate validation of what we're doing, basically, is you guys become leaders. We found year in, year out, this is the 3rd year of this, we've had the same result. About 70% of KGI students find their jobs through KGI directly, through a contact that they wouldn't have had without coming here. I think that could be higher too, but it shows that a lot of students come with robust networks outside of KGI, which is nothing wrong with that, nothing at all. And the other thing that I'm personally happy about, because we do a lot of benchmarking of other programs, and most of the programs that compete with MBS are very kind of siloed or niched in one area. They do bioprocessing and that's it, or they do clin reg or that's it, or they do bioinformatics and that's it. We want our program to be a T program where the first year you do the broad, a lot of other stuff, you do the cross of the T. You do all these different areas, science, business, across different functions. In the second year, you do a deep dive in one of many areas. That leads to a variety of career possibilities, both for your first job and also as you move across organizations. And our alumni stuff that Christa's helped with is really, really showing that we have people across a variety of functions, from hardcore business, marketing, finance, to project management, to operations, to tons of clin reg, to R&D type jobs, to bioprocessing, manufacturing. and 10 things I'm not thinking of. I mean, tons of job variety, which is what we want, and it's a big differentiator across our degrees. So we're happy with that. Then I think most importantly, our big threshold that this year is we have over 1,000 alums. We're keeping Christa super busy.
Oh, yeah.
1,000 alums. It's just amazing. It's taken 15 years to get 1,000 alums. I think it's going to take 2 or 3 years the way we're going, or 3 or 4 years to get to 2,000 the way we're going, which is amazing.
Right. That's right. Especially with School of Pharmacy.
Yeah, yeah, really amazing. It's going to be a lot faster to get to 2,000.
Yeah.
So this is probably the most exciting part. I know a lot of people are interested in the campus. So if you're looking at this thing, it's the overhead view. It's not absolutely perfect, but you see 535 on top and 517 kind of in the middle. The middle left, top left 535, in the middle 517. That was the campus forever. We've got this major plan to expand the campus, and it has, so 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to have 6 buildings here in the next 3 or 4 years, which is just amazing, because right now we've had 2 forever. So the big block right in the middle, it says future student housing. It's also going to have 10,000 square feet of classroom space in it. So this is what we've been talking about for years. We've got the money for this all set up. It's going to be a big, huge 4-story building that's going to have housing for about 300 students, I think, and about 10,000 square feet of living space plus other facilities and stuff in it. It's kind of a swimming pool and a gym, apparently. So it looks like a big monolithic block, but it's actually a couple buildings with a plaza in the middle. We've been waiting for over 2 years to get my glorious city that I love and live in, Claremont, to approve this building. At one point, they wanted us to, I'm going to get some of this wrong, so this is just anecdotal, but they wanted us to improve the sewer line all the way to the 10 freeway. They wanted us to pay a huge, like, couple $1,000s a person, one time only, Parks and Rec fee for using the parks of Claremont as grad students. They wanted us to, do all kinds of stuff. So it's taken a long time to get this approval. I think we're almost there. We're not there yet, but we're at the final stage, and we're hoping to have groundbreaking this summer. So the original plan was this thing was going to open in the fall. Now we're thinking of the fall of 18, I think. But it's still sometime soon. That nice lawn that you all had graduation on is going to be a parking lot through this plan. I'm not too happy about that. That means I need to move my office, which I am. So there you go. Anyway, so that's the big plan. The little building that says 215 on the bottom in the middle left, that is right now our main administrative building. It turns out almost all the administrators are moving out of there, and a lot of the SALS faculty, including myself, are going to move into that building. So we're going to be in that 215 building. On the top right, up by the train tracks, it says, I think it says NIH, I can't read it, one NIH. That was this kind of stuff. There are 2 office floors that TechNet bought and renovated about 5 years ago, and now not a lot of business right now for petroleum technology. So they've subleased that to us for 5 years, and we're moving a lot of our administrators up to that building, but we're also moving our TMP headquarters to that building. So we're going to have beautiful new offices for TMP. It's going to be really, really great. So people in 215 are moving there. The non-technical SALS faculty, including me, are moving into 215, and that's going to be a big change. The other building you see, Vortox. So that's the building that has this really, really pretty Spanish facade that looks out on the Indian Hill, and it's a bunch of sheds behind it, some machine tool shops. We bought that about a year ago from the original owner of it, and we don't know what we're going to do with it yet, but we own that property. So we actually own, I was going to say beachfront, it's Indian Hills front of this property, which is going to be great. So major expansions to KGI to really grow in the future is what we're looking about. We also still own the 555 TechNet building. Sometime in the next 10 years, we'll probably get that back too. So that'll be great. So, the idea is to create a real campus, to really think about reorganizing a lot of the parking and some of the green space and to make it more of a campus. So when you're coming back in the next 2 or 3 years, it's still going to be the same buildings, probably still going to look like an office park, but it will be different in a nice way. Got some more slides just talking about, I just went through all of this, so I won't go through it. Here's what we're doing in each of these buildings. Ignore the confidential part there on the bottom. There's all of that. Here's the new building over right on top of Indian Hill and First, right by the train station. The top 2 floors of that KGI, we kind of devilishly put that up there. It says actually TechNet right there, but we're going to have KGI up there soon. So we're renovating that right now. We're trying to get it all done before the beginning of the new year. It's going to be really exciting to have both students, and I think Christa's office is going to be up there. So if you're visiting Christa and Diana, you can move right up.
You can come have coffee in my office.
There you go. And it's right on top of the village expansion and everything. So I think the students doing TMPs are going to be really happy to have literally a big suite of offices up there. It'd be great.
And I put a photo, there's a photo on the bottom left too of the new conference room we're going to have with the amazing view.
Yeah, it's going to be really amazing. Kind of fun, but I think that I'm like, why isn't my office up there, Christa? What's wrong here?
You're going to get a cool office
I'll
too.
get a cool office too. Okay. Here's what 517 is going to look like. So this is a little confusing, but you see, one thing that's very important, we're making the restrooms bigger. That's in the middle. But the most exciting thing is the kind of long blue vertical thing you see there. You see the word, a magical word, cafe. A cafe is being put there, and also a new classroom. So that was an unused bioengineering lab area where it says classroom 129. So that's going to be the third year pharmacy classroom next year. We might actually move into that eventually, but we're going to be there. But then left of that, I don't know if you've been there the last year. This is only for a couple of you that just graduated. I know nobody is listening, right? The crappiest library in the history of the world where it says cafe. So we got rid of this. That library project was just a joke. So we got rid of that. It's going to be a combination cafe study space. It's going to be a lot of space in there. It's 2 big rooms. Plus, we're going to make the alumni patio much more accessible. It's not going to have. It's going to be serviced, I think, through. Is it Bon Appetit?
Yes.
Bon Appetit. Which, have you ever been to Collins over at CMC? They do Collins. I don't go there anymore because I have like a 2,000 calorie lunch every time I go there because it's really good food and all you can want. So they're going to be providing food to us. It's going to be kind of cooked at CUC, brought over here and warmed up. We don't have enough room to really have kitchens, but it is going to be hot food for lunch, kind of warmed up, salads, also a lot of vending type convenience type foods. We're trying hard to make it both kind of junk food for me and healthy for Christa here. Mostly healthy, I think, because that's the most students. So it's going to be a great area. We're really excited about that. So that's going to open up at the end of the summer. That's one of our biggest projects this year. This is a bit more of the cafe, actually. So this you can see what it's going to look like a little bit here. It's a little kind of orthogonal, which is kind of strange, but I think it's going to be really, really good. We're trying to find. Right now there's a secondary project in this that might even get more room, so it's going to be really, really good. This is there's some food and there's some vending. So this is just options. It's not really what it's going to look like, but it's going to be something in this vein. So it's going to be great though. Every day here, we don't have to make that long trek to the Claremont colleges or to the village or to my bag for a cold sandwich. We can come here. It's going to be great. Really looking forward to that. I think that might be. Do we have more? I think that's it for some reason. I thought I had one more. Oh, yep, we do have one more. Summary. So overall, really exciting time here at KGI. You know, we're all about students and learning here. We love our alumni. We love that we have Christa here, by the way. So we really want to find ways to connect with you guys is the key thing on the academics. I think we're executing on the programs, especially NBS, but we're always looking to improve. So keep coming up with those suggestions for both ideas, programs, curricula, guest speakers, whatever. We want to connect with you as much as we can, and please feel free to contact me or any other alumni or any other faculty at any time. We're really, really happy to connect with you anytime. I am going to be at the Kingfisher event too, though, so it's going to be fun. So I'll see you there on the 25th.
Yeah, we have like 50 signups.
50,
we had 42 on my, and Angela and Diana had 25.
Yeah, I went to the last one of that. It's at the basement of the Kingfisher thing in San Mateo. It's really nice. And they had pretty good food at that, actually. It's the same thing. So I can see it come back. Well, I'm fine for that. So
cool. We're going to
try it. Looks like we have a bit of time. If you guys have any questions, shout them out. I'm happy to.
Let's see if we can, let's see how we do this. Would anyone like to ask Dean Casper or me a question? Feel free, jump right in there. Don't be shy.
Put the camera back on.
Okay, there we go.
Hi, this is Richard. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
We can.
Hey, Richard.
Hi. Question, when is that space going to be open on Hill? And are we still keeping the same rooms in 517?
Can you say it again, Richard? I really couldn't hear you.
Yeah, sorry about the, here, let me turn my volume down. I just wondered when the space at Indian Hill will be open, and also are we still keeping the same TMP room configuration in 517?
Yeah, good question there. No, we're going to be converting 517 TMP offices to a combination of faculty offices. We are going to keep a few of them for students, also accommodations, things like that. We're going to have most of the TMP rooms up in the Indian Hill thing. Also, 215, the bottom part of it has I don't know, what do you think about 12 Carroll's down there? And we're going to make that student study space as well. And I kind of think some of the TNP overflow, as the TNP program continues to grow, will be in there. So we're keeping that open for students as well. I will say that the NIH space, it's not going to have as many offices. I think there are going to be 8 offices that are purpose-built for meetings. There's also a lot of open office space, so we're going to try to make a little less casual than the old TNP space was. It's going to have meeting space in it. So there's going to be a lot of space up there, also space in the 215 building, and we still are going to have the Rose Hill study room in the 535 building. So it's going to be a little bit of a change. It'll be a bit more disaggregated, but our core space is going to be NIH. So.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So do any of you have any ideas for, you know, I sometimes, we offer webinars or, you know, lifelong learning strategies are things we're talking about for in the future as, you know, an added benefit for being an alum. Do you have any topics of interest in previous town halls, you know, things like pricing came up or like global clean reg stuff, especially the reg. You know, one of the things I'm considering is organizing a conference in the spring probably. And I think we're going to do it on genetics. Would any of you be interested in that? Or do you have other topics of interest?
Hi, it's Carrie Ann here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we sure can.
Can you elaborate a bit more about what the genetics topic would involve?
You know, I don't. I mean, certainly, you know, genomics and gene therapies.
Yeah. I mean, one of the areas we're really interested in, and this is for MBS, is to how can we be more analytical in terms of both big data analytics, you know, kind of looking at things numerically. And genetics is one of that's kind of the leading drivers of that. So from the faculty point of view, we're really interested in how you can, you know, kind of, we had the genomics revolution and then I guess all the proteomics stuff, but now it seems like the actual real harvesting of all the kind of stuff coming out of the genetics revolution is really happening. So I think it would be on that, where we would try to bring in some KGI alums that are in industry working broadly in those areas with some other speakers and possibly some of our students. Is that what you have in mind?
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
You said it very well. Yeah, we're still trying to, you know, we'll probably put together a, you know, a steering committee. So if anyone's interested in being part of that, and obviously I would get some experts on the subject before we went further. Did you want to?
Yeah, I see a couple of other questions there too. I heard a rumor that the MBS degree might be disbanded. No rumor whatsoever on that. No, and what's the other one? I need new glasses.
Because and I said I have not heard this, Jason. I heard since the MBS degree is eating into costs and not generating enough revenue.
No, that's not the case at all, really. The thing that's really good about SOLS that we've been really smart on is we've developed the MBS program as our core program. Then we've created PPC and also PPM, and also part of this new engineering program, draw from a common core of classes. And that makes it much easier to sustain programs. So the core program is MBS, but you know the technical part of MBS, the PPCs take. The bioprocessing part of MBS and some of the core courses the MN students are taking. The PPM students end up taking the business courses and so forth. And that's one reason why we've thrived. But so it's really not a cost drive from that point of view at all. The program is actually a revenue generator for KGI in a major way. I would say, Jason, the best thing I can point to that, and you know, you were here last year helping us researches, is that programs that are being disbanded don't hire 9 new faculty. They just don't. By the way, I didn't mention Michelle Wells, by the way. So Scott was here a year, and Michelle also just started last January. So we have 10 counting her. Yeah. So that's the best thing I can say in that is that, you know, programs that are winding down are truly winding down. We're actually gearing up. We are concerned. I mean, the thing that we need help with, though, and this is where really, you know, you guys have been out there in the world of industry can really help us, is that it seems like admissions to MBS is a bit lockstep. It took us forever to get to 60, 70 students, and we're there reliably now. We're going to be at 70 students again. We'd really like to make it 100 students or 120 students. So the thing that I always am just mystified about, and this is where, I'm just Mr. Academic at the end, is that we've designed a program which is just really, really good. I'm not going to say it's the best in the world. It could be improved in a million ways. But it's a really good program and fulfilling its key goal, which is to get students, scientists, great jobs in industry in a variety of roles, and give them the training and the leadership experience they have or potential they have to progress in their careers, which I think we're seeing. I don't understand why people aren't just lining up down the street like it's, the iPhone launch at the Apple Store for getting in the MBS. So the thing that's always been challenged for us for MBS is admissions. Once students are here, it seems stressful while you're here, but it's actually a really good program. People do great on it. It's looked up to all over the world. It's really the best program in this area, and it's our flagship program. What we want to do is just figure out how to market that program better to let more people participate in it. I think that's the nut we really need to crack. And we've looked at a variety of issues there. We've been toying with the name. I don't think we're going to go away from MBS, but Rutgers has a competing program that was actually started from somebody from KGI, David Feingold. Instead of Master of Bioscience, they call theirs the Master of Business and Science. And we're like a pendulum in that. For like a week, we think we ought to do that. And then we think, well, it doesn't really have the bioscience connotation. And I've talked to people that say it's really not going to make that big of a difference. So there's that. That is the name that we could do. We could do that. We could definitely work with alumni on that. One area we really want to improve is the webpage, which I think really needs. It's kind of sorry, honestly. So we want to work on the webpage. We want to make sure the curriculum long-term is competitive and is understandable to people that are just looking at it for the first time. And we need to keep executing the way we're doing it. If we ever get to a point where students are not getting jobs, that feeds back to admissions in a second, and we're not going to be able to make any of our goals. So what scares me a little bit is it's the best program in the world in terms of everything we're doing in terms of outputs, but it's very incremental and slow in building up admissions. So we would like to have more like 150 people starting the year in this program, believe it or not, rather than 75, although we're happy with the 75, and it's sustainable from that point of view. So very long answer, Jason, to that, but that's my honest to goodness where we're thinking about that, or at least I'm thinking about that now. But if you guys have any comments on that, please let me know.
Jason thinks it would be good to do the Masters of Business and Science. I have heard that from a few alumni.
Yeah, I think we're gonna do on that is send out a kind of alumni survey pretty soon to get stuff, because we were about a month ago, we're like, yeah, let's do this. And then I talked to a bunch of marketing people both here, and they're like, Steve, it sounds great, but it's not going to make a difference. Well, maybe it'll make a little bit of a difference. Who knows, right? I think it's true to the program what it is. It's about business and science. And Master of Bioscience sounds a lot like Master of Science, which sounds like it's just a science program.
Right.
But we don't want to do anything that hurts our alumni that have the degree. That's our key issue too.
What Jason's saying is it would make it easier to explain with interviewers about the MBA, MS hybrid.
Yeah.
Masters of Business in Bioscience. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's something.
You'd like to keep MBS as the acronym for sure, because otherwise you have to change your business cards. You don't want that to happen, right? So, yeah.
That's right. But thank you for the feedback. It's absolutely welcome. Any other thoughts, feelings?
All righty. Well, Jason, I hope to see you at the Kingfisher thing, since it is in your area, right?
Oh, I don't think he is. He's out in Bexar, right?
Jason Kirk?
Yeah.
He's
at Baxter, or Shire now it's called, right?
Where are you, Jason?
Oh. Yeah, Shire.
Oh, Shire, awesome. I'm sorry, I messed up on that.
In Westlake Village.
In Westlake Village? Okay, we're going to be organizing a cool West LA.
Yeah, we are.
Beachfront.
We will. Great. All right. Well, thank you all for joining, and hope to see you at the Stay Tuned seminar series coming up end of the month and 2 in August. All right. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.